Yes, people. What's going on? Ziga Talks Football. We are back again with another video. Today, we got one hell of a video for you. Ange Postecoglou is most likely going to be sacked. Manchester United look like they still have pull, and they're going to be getting Mbeumo. Liverpool looks scary, and they're going to be signing Florian Wirtz. Chelsea's doing a madness. Arsenal could be back in on the Gyökeres deal. And we got so much to talk about. Before we go any further, please do hit that like button. Please do hit that subscribe button. Let's get the show started the right way. Let me bring in my boys. First, we got Jay in the building. Jay, your manager wins you a trophy and the club decides to still sack him. Crazy stuff, eh?
We'll see. We'll see. I don't like to double react. Do you know what I mean? As in, like, the news is not the news. So, we'll get into the point of it, but yeah, we'll see how it plays out.
Fair enough. Ahmed's in the building. Ahmed, Chelsea's getting prepared for the Club World Cup, looking to get Ekitike, and you could get Gittens. Better than going for freaking Garnacho, don't you feel?
I think obviously they're good options as players. I don't really have any issues with either. I think maybe more so of Gittens in the sense of I still think that he still needs a bit of time if he was to come to our football club. But barring that, I'm very happy with Ekitike to come to my football club. I think it's a solid signing. So yeah.
There we go. And then we got Vader in the building. Vader with his sound effects now.
Vader games.
Yo, I'm good, man. Good to see you guys.
Do we need Vader to be having these sound effects? It's not even like a UCL. He's not even a Champions League winner. Not one.
I am a Champions League winner.
No, but you haven't won it like last season. I'm using that specific to like last season. Like,
last season.
Because usually,
the only thing I was able to win was the Community Shield last season.
All right, guys, we don't have too much time today, so let's go quick. First things first, Vader, how you feeling? You guys just pulled off another signing.
Listen. My club don't sleep. My club does not sleep. If we fall off, we're gonna deal with it. We're gonna be like, okay, we fell off, we messed up. Where were the mistakes? How can we correct it and get back to it? We fell off and we finished third. Our fall off was finishing third, 3 points off you guys. So my club was like, listen, let's go out and address where we have deficiencies. Right back, left back, midfield, most importantly. And the fact that we were going out and we're getting these signings.
Are you going to get Livramento? I heard Livramento also.
It's going to be tough. That's going to be tough because apparently the club does not want to sell. So I'm not sure how that's going to play out. But we are going to be addressing our right back as well as our left back. We're obviously there's two midfielders. One of them happens to be midfielder of the year over in Serie A. So we're trying to handle this business right. We're trying to make sure we can keep up with the likes of Arsenal. You know what I mean?
Fair.
This is the equivalent of like Usain Bolt getting beat in a track meet in the run up to the Olympics, and then going to get in bed with Lance Armstrong's doctor. Don't do that. Don't do that. Like, all right, you got beat in one race.
No, it's
anabolic steroids.
It's because Lance Armstrong's doctor was on holiday, because they already had a relationship.
I just want to say, I always say that
Reijnders.
Yeah.
What you guys saying?
But listen, Igal, I just want to quickly say that I always like to draw the comparison with Spurs and Arsenal in this instance. And I've been telling you, it's important to win. It's important to win. Don't worry, I'm going to land this point beautifully. Because I said to myself, in 16-17, when Spurs had finished second, I was like, what did City do in that window, at the end of that season that made them just absolutely whoop our asses the following season? And I double-checked, and I remember that's the window that City went and bought Walker, Laporte, Mendy, Edison, Bernardo Silva, same window, and all of a sudden, they were in the distance, So I'm just trying to say, Igal, when people are critiquing you and saying you need to win when you have the opportunity to win, it's because the context of how you play in that you don't get to duplicate it. I saw your fans talking about
speaking from experience. Jay speaking
Bro,
from experience.
as somebody who was in that spot and thought the moment would always be there and forgot that your rivals don't exist in a vacuum.
Yeah.
And that's what you're seeing straight away this window.
Time does not stand still.
Yeah, it doesn't stand still. Kisroll, Spurs finished second in 16-17. Yeah. So the point here is watching these teams now, Liverpool, Kerkez, Frimpong, Wirtz, City, even Chelsea, with their fetishization of the Man City Academy. They're getting it on. Do you know what I mean? I'm just trying to say, Igal, you see PSG too, What, Barcelona aren't going to stand still? Real Madrid aren't going to stand still? Liverpool aren't going to stand still? City aren't going to stand still?
Nope.
So was that your best chance to win the Champions League? I know we're not talking about Arsenal, but these are nice signings, pure revamp from City. It's
listen, Jay, let me add on to that a little bit, because the projected 130 that is kind of flirting around Wirtz right now. City, whether you want to say we got rejected, whether you want to say we realized it wasn't the right fit, that 130 that was going to be for one player is being flexed on 3. So I've seen my club move like this before. I've seen us pivot and being like, you know what, that evaluation is too high.
Right, you're on mute.
We're gonna, rightfully so, he needs to be on mute. That evaluation was too high. We're gonna go elsewhere and actually make the business make sense. We got 2 midfielders on that short list, and we have a defender, and our business isn't done. We obviously have to move quickly because unlike some other clubs, we're in the club world.
When the Glaze session is over, I'm ready. I'm ready.
You bought the player in January. In midfield, Hernandez and Reijnders and Cherki. That's at a minimum. That's in case you don't bring anyone else.
Is Man City's transfer window genuinely scary?
I think
it's you know what I'm gonna say? I don't think I don't think it's scary. Okay. I think is it good signings though? Yes, I do think a Cherki is a good signing. An Aït-Nouri and an Aït-Nouri signing, a Cherki signing, and a Reijnders signing. There is one thing that doesn't need to be spoken about. All these 3 guys are known as defensive liabilities. In one region. That's what I wanted to really bring up. Like, listen, I'm not going to take away, obviously, from the positives. I'm not going to be that level of a hater, right? Because I actually think these guys are still good, decent players.
Do it. Lay it out.
They are known as clear defensive liabilities.
No, but Rack, why? 1 second. Rack, your team's doing the same thing. You're signing attacking fullbacks, and you're signing a midfielder who's more of an attacking midfielder and not really a defensive midfielder. Both of your teams.
No, he's not defensive, but he's
not having a defensive right back. What?
But he plays in a system where he does have defensive responsibilities, and he is known to put a shift in. So I'm not that worried about it, to be honest.
I'm not gonna lie.
Are we still talking City right now, or you want to?
Yeah, we're talking about City. Let's ask the real question here. Let's ask the real question.
No. Before you ask that real question, hold on. Before you ask that real question, you want to talk about defensive liability.
Because I want to talk about please.
So we've seen defensive liabilities be masked, be compensated for, right, Rax? We've seen a player that's better offensively than they are defensively than other players.
3 players, though.
No, hold on. But this is where you guys are making a mistake.
3 new players.
Okay,
3 new players.
Guys, this is where
new players coming to a new team in a new league.
Yes, but this is where you're making the mistake, or you're showing to be a little naive. They're not all to play at the same time. We're not going to be buying all of them to play at the same time. It was mentioned earlier that I obviously spent in January. I got Marmoush and Nico Gonzalez. So when I got the returning Ballon d'Or
pronounce his name properly, man. Come on.
Gonzalez.
You normally
I didn't do no list.
Yes,
Gonzalez.
Guys, let me stop you guys here. If Reindeers is coming, then Santa Claus is coming along.
Why are you calling him Reindeers? You're making him into a cartoon character from the Santa movie.
Yeah, whatever. I was trolling there. It's
Yeah,
Reijnders.
but the thing
No,
is,
but that's
like,
not how you. But that's not how it's pronounced. That's not how it's
yeah, but
spelled.
hold on, but just
It's,
on that,
it's actually there's actually the way he spelled it is wrong. There should be a J in there.
Right. Okay. Okay.
But one second. There's one more super chat.
The name elocution specialist.
There's one more. Jay, do you want to read the super chat since it's Arsenal banter?
Egal. Striker prediction. Face off 3. How many goals is Šeško getting if you sign him? And will he be the difference maker? I'm saying 14 and no subpar.
I can't predict exactly how many goals he's gonna get, but if I was
no one's gonna hold you to it unless you.
Well, I'm not gonna lie to you.
More than
I personally don't think Šeško is ready to come in and make a massive impact right away and score 20 plus goals. So I would say
that's fine, guys.
Anywhere between 10 to 14 is fair, and that's in the league
game,
right,
league goals. Okay.
Yeah. But this is just on City. Like they do have Rodrygo coming back to fitness. Obviously, they got Nico.
Remind them.
Reijnders, because that's 3 midfielders plus Gundogan and Kovacic.
Remind them, Jay.
They look.
Raiders thing is the rap artist. He's the guy in the back and he goes, huh?
No, remind them, Jay.
That's my point. I think like you like. But my point is
he's excited today. He's excited today.
No. My point is just quickly on this, like that. I think when you're talking about City, like there's a layer of respect. Yeah, do you really need to talk about City with that people don't? Yeah, but they really should because of the amount of titles they've won. Yeah, so. City until future notice are entitled for us to all treat this as an off year, yeah, and they'll be back to regularly scheduled programming next season. That to me is fair because you don't get to put this many years of top tier performance, have one bad season, and not people be thinking like we're going to run it back. So I think from my point of view, what Pep's doing is he's taking away any excuse, which is something that Arteta doesn't do. Yeah.
I think alternatively, we could also make the argument that listen, yes, you've had so many good seasons, but there is a chance that it's more so like a season or two of like a Maheus season where you're still in the top 4ish. Yes, you're not competing, but you kind of.
When have you seen that? When have you seen that from us? When have you seen that from us?
No, but I'm gonna use a nice example though of like I've seen there another team. Chelsea's a good example of this, actually. You know what I mean? We were always in the top. I need the season. The period I'm going to use, the season I'm actually going to use.
Listen, bro.
Post Antonio Conte. Post Antonio Conte.
Let me just say this. We're gonna have to speak about Chelsea anyways. I think it's a good time to segue. The two teams.
Let's finish off City though. Let's finish off City because we're kind of critiquing.
I'm gonna pin it back with City. I'm gonna connect it. So the Club World Cup coming up in about 10 days time has a massive factor in why I would say Chelsea and City are trying to get their business done quick, right? How much business do you think will be? How much
serious for City? Is it serious for City? Like,
yeah, it is. They're making millions. They're making millions.
Huh? You basically make 150 million if you win.
Rax, we don't do the bigger fish to fry. If we're in it to win it.
No, but
everyone is taking it serious.
Yeah,
this competition is the highest award in football.
I mean,
listen, I don't know about that. I'm
saying financially,
yes.
You make more money.
Financially, that's what I'm saying. Basically, if you win it, you make 150 million. Yeah, that's what I'm saying. That's why. Attention. That's why the club, you know what I mean? That's why the club.
When you speak money, you got Ahmed's attention. See,
listen,
that's why.
All about the money.
So guys, is the Club
I
World
don't think it's as high as that.
Are you guys going to do all your business before
the winners of the Club World Cup receive up to £97 million?
Yeah, it's $150 million though. That's what I mean. Sorry,
$125 million from FIFA apparently. Okay,
guys, one more time.
That's a lot.
Are you guys going to get your business done before the Club World Cup?
I think you probably will get the vast majority.
The majority of it, exactly.
Yeah. And then if we need to add one or two more pieces, maybe we can still just do that over the summer transfer window. I would assume, right?
Yeah. And to talk with my blue brother, because we are both in this Club World Cup. Hopefully you guys get to play it in the future. But we're going to be doing our business now while also assessing and recruiting on maybe some of the fringe players that we still want to get in. Because this is great advertising for us to be like, hey, this is our style of play. This is what we're going to be like. Come over here, be a part of this winning team. So, yeah, we're going to do some business now, and we're still going to have that window open to do more later on.
Exactly.
And pray there's no injuries.
All right.
And plus, this is going to be.
Someone was saying in the chat, Kovacic is out for 3 months.
Yeah, he got surgery. He got surgery on his foot, I believe, foot or Achilles.
Oh, okay.
Wow.
Okay.
All right. Let's talk about Chelsea quickly. Chelsea look like they're going to be signing 2 strikers. They already signed Liam Delap. They're also looking to get.
You're welcome.
But do they really? Like Chelsea like to talk to everyone. Like
no, this is actually quite reliable. Like we really are trying
to. But what I'm saying is like obviously they've got Jackson, they've got Delap. So I heard the same things about you're having conversations about Ekitike and you're having conversations about Bruno Gittens. So the logic of me thinking you're going to buy both of these guys before the Club World Championship doesn't make sense. Clearly not going to buy both of them.
I actually would disagree because I think with Bruno Gittens, we've been actually speaking to his camp and actually trying to get a transfer behind the scenes for the past few months. That's been something that's been happening behind the scenes actually, and it's been known by quite a few Chelsea fans. The Ekitike stuff I think has really come because of Jackson's really poor middle to end of the season. I think the club have just been like, we need to get an upgrade on Jackson, who still has a lot more room to grow, in my personal opinion. I think that's what's happened, and I think Jackson will be sold in the summer. That's something I don't think you were here for me, Jay, last week, but I
sold this summer.
Sold this summer, yes. I think we'll get sold this summer.
He's been at your club for how many years? 2
years.
He's been here for 2 years.
I'm going to sell him.
How much do you think you get for him? What
I genuinely believe in the current market, and if we take away two of the, if we take Delap and Ekitike off the market, he goes for 50-55 M's guaranteed.
Wow.
And you bought him for 30, right?
Chelsea
something around about that. Yeah,
could get 50, but I don't know. I don't know who will pay it. But I think they could
probably be like I really do believe that it'll probably be like an Italian club or somewhere in around about that.
Italian clubs.
He's not staying in the Prem. He's not staying in the Prem.
He's not in the Prem.
I think it could be like a Brighton or something like that. I don't know if they'll pay that much money for it, but there's not many teams that can pay 50 million.
I heard Chelsea's going to keep him as a left winger.
There's no way we keep Jackson as a left winger, bro. There's no point. There's no point. No. It doesn't suit the left wing even that we're trying to do. Like, he's not even a touchline winger. Even if I was to say let's play him on the left wing, he can't do that.
Are you in the market for a left winger? Or
Yeah, that's why we're getting Bruno Gittens. That's why we're trying to get Bruno Gittens.
Gittens? Why do you call him Bruno?
We had this discussion. They molded his name a little bit, to make him a bit more.
They double barreled it.
Consumer friendly.
Maybe, man, but listen, either way, like, again,
we talked about it 6 months ago.
What do you mean? What calling him by his name? I'm sorry.
No, but like, listen, either way, I know a lot of Chelsea fans are unhappy with getting Gittens, and I understand their worry, I understand their frustration. They maybe were looking for a bit more of an experienced guy on the wing, and I know a lot of Chelsea fans saying Leao, but I've been telling them, let's stay as far as possible from that, brother.
Let me ask you a question. If you get Gittens, do you still see a way Chelsea go back in for Rodrygo if he becomes?
We're not going to go in for Rodrygo. There's no way that's going to happen. So
outside the salary, he's not.
Vader. If you get Cherki, do you still see a possibility you go back in for Gittens? I mean, not Gittens. For Rodrygo.
Yeah, all his questions. We know he's asking these questions, right? It's like we have all these guys out.
No, because after the Club World Cup, someone could become available when they
because you know
who I would tell you.
I've told you this before, yeah, and I want you to be really clear on this. Your manager, he's an expectation manager. Yeah, so I don't mean he's an expectation manager. I'm saying he manages expectations. Yeah, he doesn't buy players. Yeah, that force him to win. Now, I've seen it too much now with him. He does not want to buy these players who are proven good to go right now. That's not what he buys. He buys players that grow into the first team or don't force the current incumbent of their position out of the team. Do you know what I mean? That's who he buys. So this Rodrygo stuff, like, I don't think he's on the market, but you can see from who you're buying. Like, you were in for him and Mbeumo. Yeah, you guys were in for him.
Wow, is that true?
Yeah, it's true. It's true. Like, and I see Arsenal fans saying, well, you know, like, obviously, why is he going to come here to be second right wing option? Are you stupid? Are you genuinely telling me that you went into a meeting with Mbeumo and the very first question, if you're Mbeumo, if you're a smart person, is, okay, how does this team work with me and Saka at the same time? Yeah, that's the first question Mbeumo's asking. And are you telling me that Arteta's answer was, well, probably just going to be Saka starting and we'll rotate you in? Like, did it? No, obviously he had an idea and plan for Mbeumo. Otherwise, there's no point in taking the meeting. Are you guys with me?
Mbeumo has decided to join Manchester United.
No, right. Listen, what I'm trying to say is, yeah, right. Okay, you want to buy a player like that. That's the profile of player that you're happy to buy. Yeah, that's the profile. You're not buying bigger profiles than that to go into this Arsenal team.
Nico Williams.
Like, that's the similar kind of profile. You could buy that profile.
Yeah,
but a year ago when he was hot, you didn't want to buy that profile.
No.
You're buying now.
1 second, stop. A year ago, when he was hot, we bid for him, but he did not want to leave.
No, I'm saying that within the player, in terms of the profile,
the player did not give us the green light to pay for the release clause.
Yeah, but would you even have done it? We start talking about the salary and this.
He wants 300K a week. He's a madman.
What I'm trying to say is, like, all I'm trying to say to you is, Nico Williams now, when the spotlight's a little bit dulled, when he's not as bright a star as he was a year ago, this is a deal now that I think Arsenal do. Last season, when he's hot, Spanish international, doing well, definitely coming into your team to bench Trossard and Martinelli, you don't do the deal. That's what I'm trying to explain to you.
You have to wonder, can I add something to it, Jay? I do wonder, though, like, you know, what did United give as a pitch that Arsenal could not beat? That's what you have to ask yourself, man. Like, that's the real question one has.
It's United, bro. United are showing. They've still got the juice. They've still got the juice. It must be, that's what's crazy. They had the juice. Like, they still got the juice.
You know what it is? Let's be honest. He goes into the team. He's immediately 1A or 1B.
But
do you not think he'll be 1B for your club too? Like,
I don't think he would be. I'm trying to say to you about the Tottenham Arsenal logic. Everything that you're saying, I used to say. I remember when it would come to the transfer window and we needed to buy another number 9. And I would say, oh my God, who's going to come here to be backup to Harry Kane? Of course they're going to pick somewhere else. Of course. How do you ever grow your team and improve your team, yeah, if that's your logic? Yeah? All of the excuses
when we sign centre backs,
you're giving it, Gal. I've been in your spot.
You guys are not consistent. You guys are not consistent, because I remember sitting here when we signed Calafiori. You guys are saying, "Why do you sign another defender? You don't need
a left back, bro." It's not the same. You've got so many left backs.
No, but guess what? We ended up needing it because we had so many injuries in that same left back position.
Right, but you already had Tierney, Tomiyasu, Timber could play there, Miles Lewis-Skelly, Zinchenko. So you essentially had 5 people that could play left back.
And you want to know something? There was still
another left back. Why are you buying another left back?
There was still a point where 4 of them were injured at the same time. Good preparation. Hey, talking about Mbeumo to Manchester United, I'm impressed. Manchester United got themselves a really good signing, and for Mbeumo, I'm impressed. Manchester, what the fuck?
There's another Gal.
Oh, there you go. Where is he?
In the machine.
No, you guys are taking the piss. Anyways,
I like it.
No, but like I know you mentioned Mbeumo. I think Mbeumo is a good signing for them. Mbeumo is not really like he's a good player. I think particularly in this in the system he probably plays one of the 10s, I would assume, right? Probably right. He's a good guy because like he doesn't need to dribble, if that makes sense. Like for him, it's about you give me the ball, I will just run at guys, not necessarily dribble, but then that be able to shoot. So I think he works well in the system. Now,
Yeah.
is he gonna add the goals? It's gonna be another question he got to ask himself.
Matheus Cunha and what do you call it? And Mbeumo is a great start for Manchester United.
I've seen him playing more from the right hand side. I would assume doesn't he play that way for Brentford? Isn't he playing more from the right
What's going to happen? They're going to sign a striker.
The thing is, I guess United are trying to build themselves back, right? And you could, like they've tried to do in the past, they've tried to go straight for the superstar players, but the problem is they're surrounded by substandard players, and then you've got a poor culture and all that kind of stuff. I think, in a way, if they're maybe looking at doing this in 2 stages, get Mbeumo, get Cunha, maybe get another forward to play from the left-hand side, and maybe not pick world-class players, but players that can get you in the conversation of a Champions League, right? And then maybe in a year or 2 years, you can then upgrade back to the upper echelon, but you've already got a core of good players around them.
Rack,
I do worry about them not targeting.
One second. Let me say this. Rack, did you hear the news? Bruno Fernandes could be sold for 100 million euros, and then they could use that money to go and get a striker.
Yeah.
To put in front of these.
I think, listen, it's good that they're focused on the attack, but I think the real issue is the midfield.
Yeah,
and I've not seen that many links like to midfielders from them. Yeah, which is what worries me. Like, it's great you bring in Mbeumo, it's great you bring in Cunha and whoever the set striker is, and you still have Ahmad and I forget the other young guy's name that they brought from Italy, right? In terms of your fullbacks, but the midfield is still going to be wide open. Dogu, thank you. But
I agree with you, but they're not going to be the system they're going to be playing in. They're going to be using more wing backs and more forwards than midfielders. They're only going to.
But you can ask what other teams are going to play in midfield. That's the issue.
It's only a double pivot. So right now, what I think they should do is focus on improving the attack, get that attack sorted, and then later on in the window, once you've made some sales to some of the attacking options they have, they can look at what midfielders or defenders they can bring in.
And also, I don't think the Cunha is Bruno money either, because I actually think is Cunha is the lap alternative in theory. So I think actually one interesting thing is you've got Mbeumo and Cunha who both can play as a 9. Cunha played a decent amount as a 9 at Wolves. Xerxes still. So the idea there, you can be like,
could Cunha play from the left? Because they also wanted the lap. Because they wanted the lap, right? They wanted the lap. Along with Cunha, but Chelsea obviously
so it's like the lap Cunha originally. So I'm thinking
regardless, they wanted more goals in the team. That's pretty much it.
Yeah, and I think if you're looking at if I can clutch to a little bit of hatering, I like both players. I rate them both. My only joy in hating is both of these guys massively overperformed their XG for the first time in many years. Yeah, that's all I got. So you're either buying these guys on the come up, ready to explode, or you're buying them off an overperformance XG and they're going to revert slightly back to mean. But Mbeumo's been a 0.5 XG XA guy in the league for the last few years. So you're basically getting 10 goals, 10 assists if he plays a full season, more or less. Do you know what I mean? You're getting 20 GA from him.
Fair play. People, do me a favor. Please do hit that like button, guys. We got over 400 people in the chat on YouTube, and we still haven't gotten 60 likes. What's going on? Sorry, we have 63 now. Get us to at least 100. What's going on here? At least 150. From 400 people, we can at least get 150 likes. That should be simple.
I'm going to like it right now.
Yeah, everyone go get that thumbs up and hit it right now. You see? It's already working. Some of you guys are already hitting that like button. But before we go any further, anybody else have anything else to say on United? Because I kind of feel like since there's no United rep, we can kind of move past this one and go on to the next thing, because it is a big topic we need to discuss with Spurs and Ange Postecoglou.
We don't have to spend any time on United. They're doing the same thing they always do, right? They're going to go out and get players, and they get players every time, whether it's good or bad, and it's been bad as of late. They go out and get players. And then
I
the
hope-
fan base feel like-
I think there's going to be a good
I hope they
chance.
don't sell. I hope they don't sell Bruno because I'd like them to keep him because I don't want him to have another 100 million. I think that.
I don't think he's gonna go there. You know,
They're going to sell him. They're going to sell him. I think.
No, I don't think he wants to go.
He doesn't necessarily
Actually,
fit in Amrin's system perfectly.
yeah, but he may not want to fit. But he's also up to the
Doesn't
player.
mean, doesn't mean he wants to go to Saudi.
Yeah,
That doesn't mean he wants to go to Saudi.
Bruno, as good as he is, he's older now. He's 30, and he is replaceable. They
fair,
felt-
but again, you're not
he
hearing
might
that
not want to go there.
But if he doesn't want to go there, bro, the move is over.
bro. If he said if Manchester United are going to accept a bid, he'll leave.
He doesn't want to go to Italy. Or not Italy, sorry, Saudi. That's what apparently his family doesn't want to go to Saudi either. So
Hey, Ronaldo might be there. He's going to be playing the Club World Cup. We'll see. There's a couple more days. I don't think this move happens after the Club World Cup. So let's see. There's 8 more days. 8 more days. The next 8 days are going to be wild, guys. The transfer window has never.
Al-Hilal in the Club World Cup.
yes,
Yes.
they are.
Yes.
Okay,
And
that's
they're
good.
going to sign. And they're
Let's
going to
go.
sign. And they're looking to sign Ronaldo, get Inzaghi in as manager, and get Bruno Fernandes in the next 8 days. How's that going to
Oh
be?
yeah,
possible?
and Theo, let's agree the deal for Theo Hernandez, but the player hasn't agreed it
I
yet.
think.
What?
I
Theo Hernandez
think
going
for
there?
me, yeah. One
15
thing
million.
I would say.
Yes,
One thing I would
15
say-
million, but they haven't agreed. They haven't agreed like obviously like a wage. They haven't agreed personal terms of it yet, but they agreed with AC
But
Milan.
the thing,
30
the
million
thing is
euros.
like
That is the
people are acting like
cheapest.
Bruno.
Like,
yeah,
why is
this
nobody
the
in
thing,
Europe
it's
after
like,
him?
No, but this is
50
my point,
million?
man. People don't
15.
understand. Bruno's already getting
15 or 50?
paid. Yeah,
One
but
second,
Bruno's already
Ahmed, did you
getting
say
paid
15 or
deep.
50? I'm losing my mind.
15 million pounds, 30 million euros.
1-5.
Yes,
What
Yeah,
the?
but that's not even that much more than he's currently earning. It's more, but it's like
no.
you know,
That's his
I think
transfer
the
fee.
tax and
That's
stuff.
That's
his
the transfer
no.
fee.
That's the transfer fee, mate.
Oh, what? How much?
50 million pounds. bro. It's 30 million
Nah.
I'm being serious.
Jay's about to pull out his credit card.
Bro, you need a
mean-
centre back. I need a centre back cover. We all need centre back cover. That guy for 15 million is ridiculous.
But he's a fullback,
Sorry,
bro.
what
He's
are we
not a
talking
centre-back.
about now?
He can play both. He can play both.
Like,
Sure, I can also play
could've
both.
sworn I could have sworn we were talking about one thing, but okay, carry on.
So,
What are
we
we
were
talking
talking.
We
No.
weren't talking
Gal was
about-
asking me about Theo Hernandez. I was telling him that Theo Hernandez has and AC Milan
Oh.
and Al-Hilal have agreed a deal for him for 30 million euros, 15 million pounds apparently, and
Right,
it's now
okay.
based on him now agreeing personal terms.
Hey, Gal, have you got a fetish for left backs? You want another one? Another one?
Yeah.
he's like, yeah.
Yeah, because Mazlou Skelly's going to play in midfield.
Mazlou Skelly gonna play in midfield.
Yeah. Anyways,
Oh, my goodness.
enough about that.
And yeah, you want Mazlou Skelly to play midfield, yet you don't want to be here in 10 months doing explainer videos as to why you've gone trophyless. Do you know what I mean? You can't have them both, you can't have it both.
All right. Yeah, I think at this point, let's just move on to Ange and Tottenham getting. What are you saying? Talk to me about Ange potentially getting sacked. Is it the right decision? Are
Yes,
Tottenham making the
Ange,
correct decision?
Very
Moving on
interesting.
from Ange.
I do not know. Like, the best thing about something like this is like there's no right or wrong answer. Genuinely, like whatever the club decide, I'm 100% okay with, because on the one hand, yeah, like 22 losses is insane, but I went back through the season yesterday, yeah, and I basically said to myself, when did the season really start falling apart? And it was really like December was when it really started falling apart, and that's when we had really bad injuries. You know, like playing Fraser Forster and stuff. We had bad results before then, but it really started falling apart. One thing I noticed as well in the first 6 months, Spurs kept on having a horrific result when we were in like a really good run. Like we were in a good run and then we lost that Brighton game when we were 2-0 up. Or we were in a good run and then we lost to Ipswich at home. And then we were in a good run and then we lost to Palace away, giving them their first win. So it wasn't all that bad first 6 months of this season. But I think the thing is that like some people think it's just unacceptable, the form in the second half of the season. And I completely get it. I probably feel like that. But other people think we prioritized winning the league, Europa League, and we did it. So, you know, Ange has managed now in the league and in Europe and in a cup competition simultaneously. That's one thing that you got to think about when you think about other managers like a Thomas Frank and a yada yada and stuff like that. It's like these guys haven't managed multiple competitions. Do you know what I mean? So how would they react to it? How would they do? I don't know, man. I guess I'm kind of probably leaning towards keeping him, just because the what ifness. Like if whoever you change him for, it doesn't go well straight away. You get that what if? Oh no! Like, do you know what I mean? But yeah, like I said, I'm totally calm about the situation. They need to sort it out quickly. But yeah, I'm not too worried. If it's Thomas Frank, that'll be interesting. If it's Ange season 3, that's cool. Do you know what I mean? I think they're both viable options. Let's see which one the club goes for.
Thomas Frank, what his previous club, did he not get into the Champions League with them?
Maybe.
Because he won the league. So I would assume he was in the Champions League, winning the Dutch. Oh no, he won the Dutch Championship. Sorry.
Who?
Yeah. So you know, I think Listen,
Danish,
if I'm
probably.
Ange, if I'm Ange, if I get to the end of the season, I'm happy. If I don't get to the end of the season, I'm still happy. I think at least from an Ange perspective, because at least you set out to do, I think, the job that you've done at the football club. Your stocks are probably as high as it can ever be, in my personal opinion, with that win. I'm doing it at a club that hasn't won, obviously, in a little bit, but you've still done that job. Obviously, the Premier League time, that wasn't great. But if you get in Thomas Frank, I don't think Thomas Frank is a bad manager. I think he's a good manager, got a good philosophy. This becomes a question of, again, he's probably going to be able to work with the players you've got. Are you then going to also, like, obviously give him the necessary funds, the necessary backing? Obviously, now you're in the Champions League. Your team does need to add a few more pieces here and there. That's what I'll probably say. So I feel like Thomas Frank does get, cheated on a lot of the time, but I don't really think he's a quality coach. Easy coach. I like that. I like his philosophy being about adaptability. That's something that he's always talked about. Like, you have to be able to adapt.
Can Thomas Frank's style work at a club that's going to face a lot more low blocks?
Well, I mean, Arteta's style works.
No, because Thomas Frank. No. Thomas Frank, if I'm not mistaken, he does not use the midfield as much. He uses a lot of the wings to get a lot of the goals, and everything is.
I think the thing is you look at a good coach and you say, can you scale? The thing with someone like Thomas Frank, yeah, because I think a good example is, and I'll just use Arteta because it makes it easier for me to explain it to you, is when you look at the version of team. No, the version of team that you played and style you played in season 1 compared to what you play in season 5, big evolution, yeah. But one of the main undercurrent is the quality of player available to you in terms of what you're doing. Thomas Frank, I think he spent 70 million net in 6 or 7 years. Net. That's it, net. So I'm like, if you're a team like Spurs, you're looking at this manager and you're thinking, okay, this guy can do a lot with little. So if you give him a little bit more, what can he do? Yeah, how scalable is it? And that's what you're testing. You're trying to say, okay, what's he like at, trying to break teams down? What's his creativity like? What's his coaching like? If you've got the 7th most expensive or 6th most expensive squad in the league, and you've got a manager that can overachieve, how much can he overachieve? What can he do with that? So that's what you're gambling on. But obviously, with Ange having won,
the question is that Brentford are a really, really well-run club, right? They recruit really well. They've got Brian. I say it on a regular basis. Brian and Brentford, pound for pound, are the 2 best-run clubs in the Premier League. I've said it for a while. So when you come out of that stable environment and you're going to potentially one that's a little bit, I don't know. I mean, Jay will know better than I will. I don't know what's like now Paratici's back and all this kind of stuff. But I think there are some question marks there.
Like the video, people. We got over 250 people.
I think you raised this. I don't think we're badly, bro. I think we have decent structure. I think the quality of player that we brought in over the last few years has been good in the main. Funnily enough, Brentford wanted to buy Brennan Johnson, and Brentford wanted to buy Archie Gray. If you remember, he was meant to go for a medical actually at Brentford before we bought him. So these are two players that Frank has given the thumbs up to and say, I want to sign him. And they would have both been Brentford's record signings. So it's interesting to see that there's a certain overlap there in terms of like strategy and stuff like that. But yeah, I think it just comes down to like the Premier League is a first impression league. You know, start well and everyone will be behind you.
Let me ask you a question right now.
Well, everyone will forget.
Ange Postecoglou, is there a divide within the Tottenham fan base? People who want to keep him. Where do you go?
Yeah, I think most people are fair to understand both sides. No, but there is a divide. There's a lot of people that think that because he won the trophy, he should.
May I give my 2 cents?
Oh, here we go. There.
Is Jay done? I don't know.
Yeah, he said the club.
I just got confused because he said Arsenal. But yeah, just quickly, I was just saying that, and the divide is like because a lot of fans are like you're looking at the future. So when I'm judging Ange on whether or not he should be in charge last season, it's not necessarily having any opinion about what he's managed to do for the club. It's about what's the next best step for the club moving forward. And that doesn't mean that I don't really, really rate and respect what he achieved last season. It just means, does that mean that he's the best person for the job next season? And that's the question. And I think if you're a reasonable fan who's watched this season, you understand why the question's being asked. Whether or not you agree with the answer.
I agree with you. Banter aside, I do think the best choice for the club is to probably let him leave on a high. And also, you guys get to start fresh with the new manager going into Champions League, continuing to rebuild in a new with the new manager, and not having to worry about the problem of having a manager there after finishing 17th.
Well, in the world that we live in, with all the information available, there's no winning scenario right now. Like letting him go, the only way it wins is if the next manager comes in, you finish top 4, and you're in a late run for a trophy. Because if he doesn't, the question is, why didn't we keep said manager who kind of fell off his second season, but was obviously competitive the first season? So I think any agent for Ange should be saying, listen, leave on a high, because you're going to need that next job, right? He's not going to remain. This season will not allow Ange, no matter what he does, to be a long-term manager at Spurs. So he's just prolonging the inevitable of moving on to the next job. The best soundbite, the best optics for his next job is to leave with this trophy before any failures come in, and let them ask the questions on whether Spurs were right to let this manager go and all that kind of stuff. He should leave on a high. And hey, Daniel Levy's learned. He's learned not to fire a manager before the final. He's going to fire a manager, a second manager, after a trophy, which is an upgrade, which is a learning. So I think that's probably the best scenario.
Will he get to manage the Super Cup? Probably not.
Probably not.
Hey, anybody else have anything else to say on
if you look at Ten Hag though, I feel like stuff like that has affected him, because imagine if that never happened with United last season. Yeah, imagine if Ten Hag didn't win the FA Cup and then flopped the next season. I'm sure Spurs would be way more open to giving him another chance.
Yeah. Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? Because they literally just saw what happened when a coach wins but didn't do well in the league, and you give him the next season, and they're like, and they just see, man, we can really mess our team up.
You know something?
Don't say it, Hugo.
I think this trophy Tottenham won is perfect for them, and it was also perfect for Manchester United. It was a win-win for everybody because Tottenham get Champions League football. They get to continue to progress their team in a manner where they can continue to go with the players that they currently have and build off it. Where Manchester United needed a reset, and this Champions League qualification wouldn't have helped Manchester United actually do
He's
their
got a
reset.
time board.
You go.
trying to make a serious point, and Ahmed just wants to know who's got the soundboards.
I think this was a win-win for both teams.
No. Stop. Hold on. The reason why I said don't say what you're about to say is because we are not going to spin not winning a trophy is a win-win.
No, but it allows Manchester United to actually do a proper reset.
No, but they could have done a proper reset after winning the trophy anyway.
I don't think they would have. I think they would have gone. I think they would have gone and done a different.
But I'll be honest with you, Igal. Yeah, if you look at it right now with United, yes, they've brought Mbeumo, they brought Cunha. I think how much combined 110 million, if I'm not mistaken. Like somewhere in the, it will be somewhere in around that range because it's one of them 50, one of them was around about 60. Yeah. So right. But like my problem is like we apparently United don't have that much money. So realistically, that's probably what the two big signings after this is about sales. So if I'm Spurs has got the UCL money bonus now. They can probably get more. They can probably get a few more 4, 5, 6 players with a bigger budget. So I'd probably argue that Spurs are in a much better position than United are because they don't have that much money.
Let's see if they get Xavi Simons or Eze, because if those are the guys they're talking about, I'm impressed. If Tottenham pull off one of those, I'll be very impressed.
Well, if we impress the gal, then that
we impress the gal.
Hey,
man, you're gonna be above Arsenal, man. You're gonna be above Arsenal, man.
One second. You're here on my channel. We are talking about football, so of course I'm gonna give my opinion.
Oh meow. Oh meow. Okay. It's like that. It's okay.
Yeah, it is like that.
Anyways, sorry, Mr. Officer.
No worries. Anyways, let's get back to a thing. Anybody else could be a stretch for like another shout for manager besides Thomas Frank, or is just Thomas Frank? That's it.
That's the only one they've been linked to, right?
Marco Silva doesn't sound like it's really. He didn't work out at Everton. He's doing well at Fulham, but I think giving Thomas Frank that chance at the next big job makes more sense than giving Marco Silva the opportunity.
I don't think Marco Silva. He's had a good remontada at Fulham.
These kind of things, yeah. But the thing is that like, do you remember when Ten Hag stayed at United? Right, they were interviewing so many people. It comes out afterwards. They interviewed De Zerbi and Tuchel and yada yada. But at the time, no one knew anything. Do you know what I mean? So we're going to find out over the next week or so who Spurs have actually been speaking to and what they've been doing. I'm imagining we tried Inzaghi. Like, what's Inzaghi? It looks like he's going to Al-Hilal. Frank. Who else have we spoken to? Like, is Ange even definitely going? Glasner was linked as well, but then Palace won the FA Cup. Who knows if Palace hadn't... Like, Gahey apparently turned Spurs down. Said he's not interested in us. Again, interesting. Is that like, is he going to run his contract down? Does he think someone like a bigger team, like a Liverpool or something, are going to come in for him? I saw Bryan were linked to Gahey a little bit. I don't think many people saw that link. So I do think this is going to be an all-timer. Like, I think this is going to be a top transfer window. And I'm not even... I think the gap in the Premier League is going to get even smaller this season. I think all teams are ready to like buy quality into their squads, and I think next season's Premier League is going to be disgusting.
Yeah, I think it seems like there's a lot of teams who've either want to do a lot of business, i.e., probably ourselves. Who want to do a lot or need to do a lot of work. So I would arguably say City need to do a lot of work more than Liverpool, for example. But we also want to do a lot of work. For Arsenal, I would say
about your work. What are you going to do?
I think Arsenal are similar. I think Arsenal don't need to do a huge amount, but it seems like they want to make some big strides, right? they don't want the same shit that happened this season to affect them again. So they're kind of making up for lost time or something like that.
Let me say this, Rack. Liverpool right now look like they potentially could have the scariest transfer window of the season. You guys just won the league, and you're potentially going to be signing one of the best players coming out of Germany. You're already looking at getting one of the better left backs in the league that played for Bournemouth last year in Kerkez. You've already replaced Trent with Frimpong, and you're looking at a striker. It's literally you're a DM and a centre back away from having a much better squad than last year, plus much better squad depth.
So kind of what's interesting, I think, it seems like the Kerkez deal will probably get sorted one way or the other. It seems like, and the Wirtz deal will get sorted one way or the other. So at that point, after that, I expect us to be shifting a little bit towards outgoings before we make another series of incomings. And I think that outgoings is going to be interesting because people seem to already have ideas about who may be coming in. I'm not 100% sure, but the outgoings is going to be a big question because people are talking about Luis Diaz leaving. People are talking about maybe not, but Endo may be leaving or something. But it seems like I think maybe he's going to stay. People are talking about either Joe Gomez or Quansah leaving. Which one of our left backs, if Kerkez does come, then either Andy Robertson or Tsimikas might leave. So, and all of a sudden, it almost becomes a little bit. It's Darwin Núñez as well. But it almost becomes like, do we really want to do this much in a window? Because most people always say you don't want to have too much turnover, right? If we're selling Diaz, and if we're selling Núñez, if we're selling Andy Robertson, and if we're selling a centre back, that's 4 players. We can't let 4 players go without having 4 players come in, right? And then if that's the case, then are we not going to do a DM? Then we can get 5 more on top of the 3 that look like there were 8 transfers. Is a crazy amount. That's like Chelsea number of transfers.
Yeah, man. You don't, and that was, and even to give context, even to the Chelsea transfers, that was when we were going through a rebuild. But we were like, we're just gonna clear the whole slate. Right, in your case, I don't even think you necessarily even have to do that. I think keeping a Robertson whilst having a Kerkez is not even a bad option for 1 year.
But then Tsimikas will go, which is fine.
I forgot about Tsimikas actually. Oh my god, that's why.
So either way, it's going to be interesting.
I like
go on, Vader.
This Rack's trying to downplay the.
It's not downplaying. I'm just saying it's interesting. I'm excited about the incomings. I'm really excited about the incoming because hey, look, we've got to improve on Darwin Núñez, right? That it can't get worse.
Who's going to come in?
Okay.
Either Gyökeres or Ekitike, right?
Rex doesn't care. He just wants an upgrade. Anything's better than Núñez.
Look, I've said it before. In terms of the striker market, there's 2 strikers out there who are proven. Šeško, what's his name? Atletico and thing at Newcastle. Those 2 guys, they're the proven
Julian
ones,
Alvarez
right?
and
Julian Alvarez and Isak. So, but those 2 are 120 to 150 million.
Yeah, you got that.
Almost certainly not going to happen. So then the next 3, which are being linked to all of our clubs, apart from Vader's team, is Šeško, Gyökeres, and Ekitike. I've said it before. Gyökeres has question marks because of his age and because he hasn't done it in a big league. Although the numbers that he's putting up are kind of almost unprecedented. But there's a question mark, and he's older, right? Šeško and Ekitike have the potential on their side, but they're unproven at this level. Okay. So there are question marks. We don't know. We're all fishing in the same pond at the moment. At least unless a new name comes out of nowhere.
Bravo, Rax. If you were on anyone's channel other than Egal, and if you had other panelists,
I'm available. Contact my agent.
Okay, if you're on
what the hell?
No, I'm just saying, if he was on any other channel, if he had different panelists, he could have gotten away with that try and pivot. But earlier
you can be my agent, Vader. You can be my agent.
Ekitike will go Chelsea 100%, says this guy.
Listen,
if you get both of them, if you get Ekitike and Delap, we have literally made the market we're going to literally force the market to buy Jackson. So I can't lie to you from a Chelsea perspective. You know, what I mean?
This is what I want to get at. This is what I want to get at. This is what I want to get at when it came to Liverpool. Is all of the incomings are a good thing. Don't let Rax then talk about all of these additions and the potential exits, because you need quality, and you are getting quality that's better than what you currently have. And how you get rid of those other players, who really cares? Because again, you won with them. But
you have to care. You have to care because the money that comes in will pay for their replacements.
No, I get the money thing. Liverpool acting like they need to sell to buy. Yeah. But you guys have these players that need to leave because of the quality that they aren't, right? And Slot was able to get this title win despite some of that quality. You're bringing in better, and if you're going to choose, like if you're choosing between your left backs on who to get rid of, Robertson or Tsimikas, okay, that's a good problem to have. If you do what you're currently slated to do, yeah, you guys look like you're in control of going for a back-to-back. And that is a very good problem to have. And I don't think any Liverpool fan should really be looking at, we got too much happening in this transfer window.
The thing is, there are, despite the fact that we won the league, there are, I would say, all of those departures make sense, apart from arguably Luis Diaz, because he had a good season. And so if you're taking, we won the league, and we can strengthen in several different positions, that's obviously a good position to be in. Like,
Yeah. But you tried to bring in
we have lost Trent. Listen, we have lost Trent, and I think people are kind of forgetting about it right now. But in the last game of the season, you saw there was a significant difference between when Bradley played the first half and when Trent played the second half.
The last game of the season.
Sure, but I mean that's the most recent. So that's the most fresh in people's memory.
Yeah, but that's a terrible example to use. The last game of the season shouldn't be a reminder.
But the point is that we will miss Trent's creativity, and people are already saying that he goes out and he comes in, but it's not. We all know in football, when on the pitch, it doesn't quite work like that.
No, hold on. Whoa. Rax is not gonna. 1 second. Rax is not gonna get away with this. You got rid. Trent is leaving on a free. He didn't want to be there. Okay.
Yeah.
Trent's leaving on a free. Yes, you're losing his offensive creativity, but you're now bringing in the best German. So
German creator. Let's not get
German creator. So you're getting that creativity somewhere. Go ahead.
Oh wait. The thing is, you're bringing in the best German creator in Florian Wirtz, and plus, Conor Bradley was much better than Trent defensively. That's the key word.
Remind them.
Defense.
Honestly,
so bring him will happen at once. And I think if if in the short to medium time might be better than Trent. I hate to do it like that.
Honestly, look, I think Bradley is a promising young player. He's definitely not going to give us the same kind of creative output that Trent. But the point is, he isn't that good defensively. He's an upgrade to Trent defensively. Let's not do this. Honestly, I'm not so sure. I don't think it's clear cut at all. I don't think
he's better defensive.
I watched him. He was getting in the last game of the season. And again, I'm going to mention as a freshman. He was getting run ragged.
The last game of the season, you guys have been showing up.
He gave the ball away for us. He gave the ball away. All I'm saying is that I don't want to say.
Yeah, but you're being disingenuous for using the last game of the season to.
No, but listen.
Yeah, you are.
If he comes in, if he comes in and he becomes a defensive stalwart and he's rock solid, and Frimpong does the same, and they're great going. I'm not going to complain about it, but there are question marks. There are question marks about it.
Yeah.
I don't think it's a given.
I see it. I get it.
And Ali, say Trent doesn't try. He hasn't tried recently.
Ahmed's about to leave. Let me ask you, what do you think is going to happen? Who do you think Liverpool's going to sign at striker?
I have no idea,
Nunes.
But listen, if you want a Nicholas Jackson for 50-55 million, come talk to me.
I'll give you 30.
50 million and you got a deal.
Do you guys think Liverpool get Gyökeres?
You know what, man? Maybe, but I don't. The thing about Gyökeres, I've said this before. You have to be questioning. Like why is no other club really going in for him?
Arsenal have actually spoken to him numerous times about contracts, spoken to Sporting. Arsenal have also spoken to RB Leipzig. There's stuff happening behind the scenes, but nobody's really talking about it.
Why aren't United heavily into for him?
Because them not getting Champions League football took them out of the race.
But then you got the likes of Cunha and Mbeumo willing to go there.
It must be a wage thing, man. I want to know what wages those two are on. I'll be very interested to see what the wages are on. I'll be honest with you, man. I don't know about you guys.
Yeah, I like to pocket watch sometimes. I'm chilling.
You have to pocket watch of them, man. You have to pocket watch of them, man. You know what I mean? That's it, man. Well, listen, I'll catch you guys in a bit. Big up to everyone, man.
Ahmed, I got you to redirect. Guys, Šeško, Gyökeres, Arsenal looking at both. Today, Gyökeres said that he's currently working on getting the contracts and everything sorted for his next move. And he was hinting at the fact that it could be Arsenal. Šeško, it's been widely reported from Fabrizio Romano and German sources that Šeško to Arsenal is in the works. It looks like both deals are happening, as reported by the BBC today with Samuel McBell. Who do you think Arsenal is going to actually sign, and who do you think is the better signing? Because I think we're all in agreement. We all think Gyökeres is the better signing, but it looks like rumor has it that it could be either one. We don't know at this moment in time. I feel like the last report I heard is not necessarily always the most accurate. It could just be what's happening, but there might be stuff that we don't know. I still think Gyökeres is still on the cards, and I still think the club is also speaking to Šeško. Šeško's deal is going to cost more money, but he has the higher scope to grow. Gyökeres is the deal that makes the most sense for me right now, but he doesn't fit our style of football.
Honestly, I don't think people are talking about 100 million, 90 million for Šeško. I can't believe it.
It's going to be
just like Ekitike. I think all of these guys will go for in and around the 60 million mark. Like, I don't think it's going to be significantly more than that because they all have question marks about them. And when you have those question marks, you're not going to break the bank. I think Šeško has a higher ceiling potentially. I know there's a lot of people who are dumbing Šeško down. I haven't seen him play, so I'll be thinking, but I think a lot of people are saying he's shit, haven't seen him play either. Trust people who watch these guys on a regular basis, they think that these guys that Šeško, for example, and Ekitike are amongst the best, most talented young forwards out there. It just depends what Arsenal want, for example. It just depends what all of us want. I think for Liverpool, where there's less onus on that person to score goals, I guess we could potentially accommodate Šeško just simply because Mohamed Salah can still create for him, and Mohamed Salah will score goals, right? Whereas at Arsenal, the onus is on him to be the goal scorer, and that's a bit of a different pressure.
Vader, any take on this?
I mean, I know you guys are. There's the player that's better for your system, and then there's the player that most people think will be successful. I think at the end of the day, as difficult as this is to hear, I think what's better for your system is the way to go. So if it looks like all the rivals are saying, nah, Šeško's the wrong guy, he's not gonna do what you think he's gonna do, but the club end up securing him, and like you said earlier, I think you trust your manager and you trust the system that's going to be in place for it to gel with everybody and for success, because no one would have said, and I know you get killed for this, but no one would have said Kai Havertz would have had that impact for the team that he did, right? And I think you trust the manager to kind of get it done, and you also strengthen elsewhere to be better as a team. So yeah, man, that's my two cents.
Do you have anything to say on this, Jay, or are you checked
I gotta
out?
go, guys. Peace, yeah. Take care.
No worries.
No, I think you guys have covered the majority of it. I think it's just one of those things where you just got to see how how it plays out. I think there's a lot of just speculation at this point in time. Do you know what I mean? It's normal. We need to feel like it's, you know, we just need to feel the background noise with sound. You know, we just need to say.
Let me ask you guys one random question. I seen this. Patrick is hilarious. He said, "Can our bench win a cup or finish top 6?"
No.
There's no chance you're signing this guy. By the way, he's going to PSG.
What? No, he's already signed. Echeverry's already with us.
He literally played in the final. You're
Who's
thinking
the
about
I'm thinking about the guy PSG are signing right now for River Plate,
isn't it?
Yeah, my bad.
Yeah, but yeah, no. This team would struggle to. This team might not even make top 12. Like,
wait, what?
This team might not make top 12.
You know,
you need.
Do you know what I mean? Like, it's like the top 12 is so, like, I don't. Did Palace even finish top 12? Palace just finished top 12.
That'd be a tough team to. Yeah, that'd be tough. Could they win even winning a cup would be.
They wouldn't get relegated. They wouldn't get relegated.
This is the kind of team that would get knocked out of the League Cup.
Nah, but it's like if this team played Wolves, Wolves might slap them up. This season was Wolves that finished the season.
There's lack of experience in the midfield. That's the problem.
No, it's crazy how
your
bench, your bench used to be like a top 4 bench. Now it's like, fair.
Okay.
Still thinking. What do you think? What do you think about Oscar Bob? By the way, I think he might be available this summer.
I hope not. I hope not. But
no, City have a homegrown issue. They can't sell too many players.
Yeah, maybe, but I just think that City, like, they're just putting a lot of players into this squad, considering a couple of them haven't got clear exits yet. Like, you know, like a Bernardo.
Yeah.
Like, for example, bringing in Cherki when you've got Bernardo and Foden and Savio and Echeverry and Doku.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? It's like, I'm like,
Bernardo's going to be gone.
You want that?
Bernardo's going to be gone.
And Bob.
Jay,
I didn't even say Bob's name then. Like,
Jay, sometimes you got to get, but sometimes you got to get signings a year early. Sometimes you got to get the player when they're available. So I don't know if we're going to do a madness and have 6 players sent on loan. You know what I mean? I don't know, but I think this switch up, this revamp had to happen. So they had to go out and get them while they can. Who remains is interesting. Oscar Bob's coming off injury. We don't know how effective he's going to be.
I feel like Bob needs like a season of game time.
All right, guys.
He might need a loan. The
question I have is, what are we going to say about Ahmed? Because we're going to redirect to Ahmed. What should we banter him with? Chelsea are not going to finish in top 4 next year?
Banter him about...
like, some of us are just enjoying the moment, man. Some of us have won trophies.
City Academy 0.2.
Yeah, have a look. What youngsters don't they have yet? Rodgers?
Guys, I'm going to redirect you to Ahmed's channel, Bridge Nation. Vader, thank you. Jay, thank you. Rock, of course. Guys, do me a favor. Go on his channel right now and say Egal Raid. And if you have time, just be like City 2.0. And that's it. Anyways, we're out of here, guys. Catch you guys in the next video. Love, and you already know what it is. Peace.